welcome back to the Curious Kid podcast. This week, we are diving into a topic that is super important, super fascinating, and something you're probably inside right now. Houses are a lot more than just a place to sleep and eat. They help tell us stories about people, history, and even the planet. Listeners from all around the United States have been asking for us to get curious about houses for as long as 5 years now. It's about time we learn about them this week. Let's get started.
Quadruple mailbag!
Quadruple mailbag! Hi there. My son Oliver is 4 years old, and we live in North Carolina. He absolutely loves your podcast. He is such a curious kid, always has questions about how everything works. So when I found your podcast, of course it instantly became his favorite thing to listen to. Even before going to bed, he stopped asking for bedtime stories. All he wants to listen to are more episodes of your podcast. Thank you for doing this, for teaching kids about so many subjects, and for helping us parents with some of the difficult questions. Oliver would love to have a podcast episode about houses. He wants to know about how houses are built, how the pipes and all the electrical things get included into a house so that everyone has running water and electricity. If you could do a podcast about this, we would be super appreciative. Thanks so much. Hi, Jacob and Olivia. I have a question for you. I want to know about how you make houses. Best, Ernesto from Chicago. Hello, Curious Kid Podcast. My name is Gabriel, and I am from Scarsdale in New York. I've been listening to the podcast forever, and I've heard every episode. I've listened to it in all sorts of countries around the world, including the UK. I'm curious about houses that have wheels and caravans. Bye, I love your podcast. From Gabriel, aged 8. Hi, Jacob and Olivia. My name is Minnie, and I am 4 years old, and I live in Ashland, Oregon. My 6-year-old brother and I love listening to your podcast with our mommy and daddy in the car on the way to school and on long road trips. I am curious about unicorns, tomatoes, houses, stoplights, cars, and birds. Thank you, Minnie.
Wow, that was so amazing! It's really overwhelming to read such beautiful messages from listeners that enjoy listening to the podcast. Every time we read your beautiful messages, it's an instant reminder of the impact the Curious Kid podcast has. It's a lot of hard work, but it's totally worth it. We are thrilled to finally build up our knowledge of houses for Oliver, Ernesto, Gabriel, and Minnie.
This episode is going to be so much fun. What's the question of the week?
According to a recent survey, there is something you can do that is relatively easy that can increase the value of your house by thousands of dollars, and it has to do with your front door. The question of the week is, houses with what color front doors sell for thousands of dollars more than other similar homes with front doors that are other colors?
It's hard to believe that just changing the color of your front door can increase the value of your house by thousands of dollars, but it's true. Can you guess what color front doors fetch the most money when houses are sold?
Okay, Dad. Before we get into the really interesting facts we found, we should probably discuss why people live in houses to begin with.
More than anything else, houses protect people from the weather. Can you imagine being out in the snow or blazing heat all day?
Houses keep us warm, dry, and safe. They also give us the space needed to store food, cook, sleep, and spend time with our families.
Also, houses give us a sense of belonging. It's where we feel at home, comfortable, and safe.
And houses aren't just for humans. Animals also make homes, like birds building nests or beavers making dams. Whether it's for humans or for animals, homes are all about protection and comfort.
What's amazing about houses is that they are so different around the world. A house that keeps us safe and comfortable here in New Jersey might be very different than the type of house that would keep someone safe in another country far from here.
Igloos are a great example. People in the Arctic, like the Inuit, used to build igloos out of blocks of snow. Even though snow is cold, it's a great insulator. That means that it's really good at trapping heat inside, so it actually stays relatively warm in an igloo.
On the other hand, you might find houses made of mud bricks, in hot places like the desert. That's how houses were made in ancient Egypt. Mud bricks keep homes cool because they're thick and don't let heat in easily.
Different houses can be found in places with lots of water. In places like Thailand, you will find lots of homes built on stilts to stay above water and avoid flooding.
There are also places where people might live in tree houses to stay safe from wild animals. Papua New Guinea is one example of a place where you might find people living in tree houses.
And as much as houses might be different around the world, houses have also changed a lot over the years.
The very first houses were caves. Early humans lived in caves to stay safe from predators and the weather. We learned all about that in the episode we released a few months ago on cavemen.
After caves, people started building huts from materials like sticks, grass, and animal skins. They were easy to make and move around.
And as people started farming, they stayed in one place and built stronger houses of mud, wood, and stone. That was the start of villages and cities.
Over time, houses became bigger and bigger, and also more permanent. In ancient Rome, for example, people built stone houses with courtyards. And in medieval times, castles were like giant stone houses with walls for protection.
All right, Olivia, let's talk about how houses are actually built. Where do you even start?
First, you need something called a blueprint. That's like a detailed drawing of the house, showing where everything will go. Rooms, doors, windows, and even plumbing.
After that, builders lay the foundation. That's the base of the house, usually made of concrete, to make sure the house is stable and strong.
Just like building a house out of Lego, if you don't have a solid base, it's going to fall over. The foundation of a home is super important.
That's right. Next up is the framing. That's like the skeleton of the house, made of wood and steel. It holds everything together.
After that, it's time to add the walls and roof. The walls can be made of bricks, wood, or even glass. The roof is usually designed to keep rain and snow out.
Builders install pipes for water and wires for electricity before adding the final touches like paint and flooring.
Even though the process of building different types of houses is pretty similar, that doesn't mean that all houses look the same. There are lots of super unique houses out there.
Earthships are really cool houses because they are made out of recycled materials like old tires and bottles. They're designed to be super eco-friendly and use solar power for electricity.
There is this house in New Zealand, and it's called the Hobbit House. It looks like it's straight out of a storybook. There are other houses that are built entirely underground, where the earth helps keep them warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
People even live in floating houses. Floating houses are popular in places like Amsterdam. Living in a floating house is kind of like living on a boat, but with all of the comforts of a regular house.
Even though houses can be so different around the world, the most important thing is that you make your house a home.
There is a difference between a house and a home. A house is the building itself, but a home is what you make of it. A home is where you feel safe, happy, and comfortable.
So, it's not just about the walls and the roof and the stuff. It's about family, friends, and the memories you make there. Every home is special, no matter how big or small it is, and no matter what it looks like.
There are lots of amazing facts about houses, so finding 5 of the best must have been difficult. Here with 5 unbelievable facts you need to know about houses is Noah. Take it away, Noah.
Fact number 1. The oldest known house in the world can be found in France. The house is believed to be about 400,000 years old. Fact number 2. The most expensive house in the world is Buckingham Palace. That's where the royal family lives, and it's located in London, England. Buckingham Palace has 775 total rooms and is worth around $4 billion. Fact number 3. There are homes in Japan that are built without any nails at all. They are called minka, and they are traditional wood houses. The wood pieces are carefully fitted together like a puzzle. Fact number 4. In Petra, Jordan, people carved entire homes and temples out of rock thousands of years ago. These rock houses are still standing. Ask a grown-up to pull up some pictures of the rock houses in Petra for you because they are amazing to see. Fact number 5. In Mexico, there's a house shaped like a seashell, and it's fittingly called the Nautilus House. It's inspired by the ocean and is one of the most creative house designs in the world.
All the facts that Olivia and I gave you were great, but those facts that Noah just delivered were unbelievable, and the best part is that they are completely on the house. It's time to answer the question of the week. If you want to increase the value of your house before selling it, one way to do it is to change the color of your front door. Olivia, what color front doors increase the value of houses?
According to a recent survey, homes with black front doors sell for about $6,500 more than homes with front doors of another color. Coming in a close second are homes with slate blue front doors. Our house has a brown front door. I wonder how that compares to black or slate blue.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast, number 296, on houses.
Great job, Olivia, and great job, Oliver, Ernesto, Gabriel, and Minnie for bringing the house down with your awesome episode topic suggestion. We are just 4 weeks away from massive episode number 300. For that episode, we are going to get curious about topics for Olivia and Noah. Are you wondering what they want to get curious about? Well, stay tuned. To celebrate the big episode, we want to share episode 300 with the most important thing that keeps this podcast going, our listeners. Olivia and Noah work really hard on this podcast, week after week. If you want to congratulate them for 300 episodes of Curious Kid Podcast, leave us a voicemail. The number to call is 856-425-2324. The voicemail number can also be found in the episode notes. You're also able to leave us a voice message by going to our website, www.curiouskidpodcast.com. We are going to play a lot of your messages in episode 300. Please keep your messages under 30 seconds long so we can include as many as possible. The deadline to leave a congratulations voicemail is Friday, March 14th, which is this Friday. Join us next week when we will get curious about frogs, for listeners in California, Iowa, and Oklahoma. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us.